Last minute shakeup at 5:30 a.m., laundry situation not good. And when your focus is on helping your clients, it's easy to forget about yourself. But NASM knows trainers.
Morning ride is okay.
And staying in front of the day isn't always
Nice
as simple
ride.
as 1,
What's
2,
up?
3. So when the unexpected has you pressing pause,
What's the latest on creatine?
I'm going to get back to you on that.
let NASM1 help you press play. Visit NASM.org to sign up for a membership today.
You're listening to the NASM-CPT Podcast with Richey, winner of the Share Care Emmy Award for Social Storytelling and the official podcast of the National Academy of Sports Medicine.
Hey, y'all, and welcome to the NASM-CPT Podcast. My name is Richey, and today, I got a question that somebody asked me that I feel the need to answer. The question is, should I quit my job to become a personal trainer? That is a hard question to really deal with, but Alex brought this up to me. He said, hey, Dr. Rick, I'm considering changing my stars. My true passion is living a healthy lifestyle and working out. I'm almost 30, but considering switching careers and becoming a personal trainer / nutrition coach, both of which can be done through the NASM. With no college experience in anything except a trade, where would you recommend I start, or steps I should take before I make the jump, quitting my current full-time job and completely switching careers? Alex, there are a lot of people that have this question, and I'm going to tell you this right now. Get ready, get set, and pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Let's talk about this for a moment before making that big decision. One, the fact that you're interested in doing this is amazing. I love this job. It's a cool job. Many people love training, but the attrition rate is really high. Why is the attrition rate in personal training so high? I'll tell you this. This is what I think. Because the ideal is more amazing than the for real. And that's going to get you in trouble. I have this idealized version of what working at the gym is going to be like. And then the for real version of working at the gym may be a little more challenging. So, listen, I'm going to say this. I don't know your situation. I know this though. If you hate your job and it doesn't pay well, and you can get another job that you also hate that doesn't pay well, if training doesn't work out for you, or you go into training and you hate it and it too isn't paying you well, like, sure, quit your job and give it a try. Why not? Give it a shot. But if you're doing well in a job and you're just, you got to ask yourself some questions. That's all. And I'm going to ask you some questions in return. So here it goes. I'm going to say this. There are a lot of people who look forward to doing this, and every workshop for the past 4 or 5 years prior to COVID, I would have at least one attorney that came to class that was going to become a personal trainer. Now, do I think that they were going to quit their job as an attorney to become a personal trainer? I definitely do not. I have no illusions or delusions that people are going to be like, I'm going to give up this really, really good money to go do a job that may or may not work for me. And the problem is that if it doesn't work for you, then it's not a cool job. So I don't just say, let's stop whatever you're doing and go become a personal trainer, because you may not even like this job. Do you even know what it entails? Because a lot of people idealizing will say, this is going to be a cool job. I can work out whenever I want. I can set my own schedule. Based on how much I work is the amount of money that I can make. And these things are in part true. You can set your own schedule, but your clients are going to want to train at certain times. And if you're not available in those times, or if you say, how I really like to work 9 to 5, well, those aren't the busiest times. They're not. And you're going to have to work at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., maybe 9 a.m., and then 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. And if that works for you, that's cool too. It doesn't mean everybody does it. I don't do that. I start my day at 6 or 7 in the morning, and I'll go until about 2, and I'm not booked. I'm not booked that entire time. But you got to figure out what this means for you, because you're going to have to do sales. You're going to have to do sales. Well, I remember when I was a manager, or when I used to teach workshops at a corporate gym and teach personal trainers how to become personal trainers. I teach them how to do it. This is the exercise science portion. Here's the business portion, all that stuff. And I would have, this is probably the biggest complaint. I didn't get in this job to do sales. I got into it to personal train. And my question to you is, well, that's cool. Cool. But how are you going to personal train if you don't do sales? That's weird for me. When somebody says, I love painting houses, I say, oh, okay, cool. How do you get business? I'm not in this business to sell painting houses. I'm in the business just to paint houses. You know what that is? That's the difference between a worker and a boss. So you can do that, but even in a gym, a corporate gym where you work for somebody, you are rarely going to just be given clients. It's rarely going to happen. You know what that means? That's your grind. That's your hustle. I didn't get into this job because I wanted to hustle and I wanted to grind. I just want to work people out. Oh, okay. Well, that's not how it goes. So now what? I shouldn't have ever quit my job. Yeah, I agree with that. You should have looked into it first. And I think this is an important thing to say, because I love this job. I've been doing this job since February of 2002. I'm in. I dig it. Count me in. But sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes it's really challenging. And sometimes I'm really busy and I can't take in new clients. And certainly the majority of clients that are looking to work with me, I just don't have those times available because those times are already booked. And then they can't do the times that I have available. And then we got to give them to somebody else. So it doesn't line up. So you got to do sales and you got to market and you've got to meet people. And you say, that's fine. That's fine. I love it. I love it because you can do sales and marketing and you love talking to people. And that's all well and good until hit with rejection. Till you hit with some rejection. That sucks. Because you're going to be rejected most of the time. So are you okay with that? Or are you like, oh, that's cool. I'm still living my dream. I'm still doing what I want to do. Because you can do that only so many times until you feel rejected and you feel the hurt that goes along with it. I'm not downplaying personal training. I'm just telling you, like, it's a job. Now, it's a cool job. It's one I've been doing for, at this point, 22, almost 23 years. Count me in. I do it. But I go through all that stuff and I see it because I've been doing it for a long time. So I've got some things down. But you know who doesn't really have a lot of that down? The new people who come in with this idealized version of what training is going to look like. And then they are promptly deflated. Because when you idealize something without looking at the logistics behind it and how the workings of everything actually goes into play, it can be sorely disappointed. What does disappointing mean? It does mean appointed. This is what I thought was going to happen, and that did not happen. You thought that you were going to stand there and just get clients and have a great, but it might not be that way. It might. I know. There's a hope for that. But I've got some things that I'm going to talk to you about in just a moment. Some suggestions before jumping out of one job to become a full-time personal trainer. All right. But before we do that, let's go into a little commercial break. Here we go. This episode of the NASM-CPT Podcast is brought to you by NASM-1, the membership for trainers and coaches. Members enjoy unlimited access to hundreds of career resources. Get the Edge app to schedule and program clients. Enjoy half off all certifications and specializations, access to free CEUs, and more. All of this for just $35 a month. Go to NASM.org/membership to learn more about NASM-1. All right, here we go. Before jumping out of one job and jumping into another, let's consider these seven things. 1, balance out your financial needs and your quality of life needs. All right, I think training provides great quality of life, but it doesn't if the bills aren't being paid. And it doesn't mean that you can't pay your bills when becoming a personal trainer, but it may not be as easy as you're hoping. So we're going to find out what that looks like in a moment. I'm going to break down some numbers for you and we'll see what happens. Right? So, balance out your needs, this quality of life, because the quality of life's great as long as you're getting paid what you need to get paid to move ahead. Number 2, speak with other trainers. Speak with other trainers, lots of other trainers, about their struggles and their joys. What do you love about becoming a personal trainer? Why do you think most trainers quit? Why have you ever thought about quitting? Do you ever go through hard times? How many fitness managers have you been through? How many personal trainers have come and gone in the gym? Those numbers can be significant. And then you ask, why do you think so many people start as a personal trainer and then they bounce? I think number one thing is because the ideal is much nicer than the for real. Number 3, find out the going rate for personal training sessions in your area. Find out the going rate for floor hours. Find out how many sessions the top trainers in the gym are doing per week or per month. Excuse me. And think about this. Let's just run some numbers here. And if the rate, let's say, if the rate per session is $30 per session. Now, I don't know where you are, but New York City is where I live. Some of like a tier 1 personal trainer just starting out may make $30 per session. I don't know what the rates are anymore. Used to be that, and it might not even be that anymore. But you can work your way up to $45 and $50 per session hitting bonuses, but let's just do $30 per session. Now, outside of New York City, it could be a lot lower. There are places you could just start working and it could be a lot higher, but we're going to go with $30 per session. And let's say the top 5 trainers at that gym are doing an average of about 20 sessions per week. That's $600 per week. Cool. Does that work for you? Does $2,400 a month work for you? And if you see that and you're like, yes, that's the dream. Awesome. But you still have to get 20 sessions a week. So you still have to work your way up to that. So you're not going to just start off being one of the top 5 trainers in the gym. But if you've got a little cushion, you can work your way up. Might be a consideration. If you see that and you're like $600 per week, $2,400 per month, and the top 5 trainers, that's what the top 5 trainers are doing, and I need to do double that in order to maintain my lifestyle, that may not be a job for you. So these are all considerations that you need to look at. I'm going to give you another consideration to look at. Number 4 consideration. Do they offer medical insurance? Do they offer medical insurance? If not, can you cover that on your own? Do you have a family? Is it just you? Can you cover your own medical insurance for several $100s a month? If you have a family, can you cover for several $1,000s a month? Is that something that is doable? And I will say this, that it's really hard when you're trying to save up to have a medical issue happen. When a medical issue happens or something physical happens, now you're a personal trainer, this is an important job, that you are physical. You can pick things up. You can move around the gym. So you may want to, if you'll have workers' comp as a worker for a company, but that might also be something where getting working insurance like Aflac, which pays you for what you aren't making, if you get hurt, that's true. But also medical insurance can cover you. That's number 4. Number 5, will you be able to make enough money to put some away for retirement? Do they offer a 401k plan? Do they match if they offer a 401k plan? If they don't, Can you set up your own IRAs, your Roth IRAs or your traditional IRA, and just put money aside for your own retirement? Or are you just making the ends meet? If you're just making ends meet, then you're going to have to either, one, elevate your hustle and train a lot more people, or you can go somewhere else and get paid more, or work your way up the tier system so that you get paid more, and make sure that you're putting enough money away for retirement. Number 6, can you keep your job and start training part-time? I think that might be a very important consideration. Can you keep your job and just train part-time? Because, if you start training people outside the gym, maybe even part-time, so you could work for another company, train part-time, still keep your other job, start training in your home, in their home, in your garage, in their garage, out in the park, somewhere. You're a traveling trainer. People are coming to you and they're going to work out with you, and you've set it up in your place. Cool. If there's an independent gym and you can just pay a fee to go in and use it and train somebody there, like my gyms in New York City, that's cool. Do that. And then you don't have to jump through the hoops of working for another gym who says, oh, we don't hire part-time people, or we hire part-time, but you have to work these days and they're not days that work for you. You can work after your work or before your work, but they might not need people at that point. So can you keep your job and do this job on the side? And I think here's another very important thing. You mentioned getting your NASM personal training and your nutrition certified nutrition specialist. That's a great idea. Do that stuff before jumping ship. Do that. Go in with a higher level of potentially getting paid, where you are already certified, you already have a nutrition certification, and you are going in ready. You are locked and loaded and ready to go. And they don't say, oh, you're not certified, so now we're going to pay you this much and you got to go through here. Like, just go ahead and do that while you have another job, and then work your way into it. Decide if it's working. Because of the 7th reason. The 7th reason, the most important, is don't idealize this job. It's a cool job, but it's still a job, because the ideal may be more amazing than the for real. So don't just quit your job to become a personal trainer. Now, you do all this other stuff. You follow those 7 things that I suggested, and you look at it and you go, I still have to do it. You do you. Listen, I've made a lot of decisions where I could have lost a lot of money. I've made some decisions where I have lost a lot of money on starting a business, working in a business, moving businesses, creating gyms, creating gym adjacent corporations. Some successful, some fell flat on my face and lost a lot of money. If you just go and do personal training, you're like, it's everything I dreamed it was. And I don't mind the hustle. I don't mind the grind. And I love the training. I love the gym. I love the environment. Let's make that jump. But if you just haven't thought about the other things, if you haven't thought about the challenges that can come with quitting your job to become a personal trainer, because the idea of it's nice, but you haven't searched into any of the practicalities of it, we need to look at that first. What does it mean to me, to my financial situation, to my medical insurance situation, to my family, to my retirement, to my life? Then those are going to be considerations, because your quality of life as a trainer is great unless you cannot support yourself and those who rely on you. And if you can support yourself, you can support those who rely on you. You make enough money, you make ends meet, you can put a little bit aside for retirement, you make sure that you're covered with your insurance, then I like this job. I like this job. It might be something for you to consider and for you to look into. Thanks for listening. I appreciate you being here. Like, subscribe, share with your fitness friends and family, and leave a review. Honestly, please leave a review. Right now, there's leave a review. Let us know what you think, because leaving the review and all of those other things, liking and subscribing and sharing, those elevate us on searches, and it allows people to find the podcast. And if you think people should have more access to this podcast, I'd appreciate that. All right. If you want to reach out to me, like Alex did, hit me up. You can do so on Instagram at dr.rickrichey, or email me, rick.richey@nasm.org. Y'all keep inspiring people to fitness. Thanks for listening. This has been the NASM-CPT Podcast.